Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Oh my goodness, has it been a busy day? So I finally got a second to breathe. When that 5 o'clock newscast starts, it's like a whirlwind if you're not done. So Josh, I'll get to score prediction for the Hog game tonight. Get it within four. Can I have some chapstick? Well, we know who has the chapstick, right? My goodness. So it's been a busy one. I'm not going to be doing a Facebook Live, obviously in between the 7 and the 9 because the Razorbacks are playing and people are going to be watching the game versus Kentucky. But we got a lot of rain, man. It's an active weather pattern. Today I was at Piney Ridge, and so I was talking to the kids about weather and weather safety, and so that was a great time. Kids were awesome, and students learned a lot about the weather. At least they said. And then I went to Bonnie Grimes Elementary for the groundhog celebration, the 40th groundhog celebration. So anyways, let's just get into it and take a look at what's happening on Mega Doppler. And there's precipitation starting to move in. You can already see some thunderstorms starting to pop up. This is a foreshadow of things to come. We're going to have training cells, multiple rounds of rain, precipitation coming in. Let's just dive in right now to the timing of this. That's what you want to know. So when we look at the future track here, later on this evening, precipitation moving in, continuing. There's breaks in it right now, but it's expected to fill in. Now, there's a little uncertainty exactly where this filling in will take place, but this is the very latest extended HRRR. We'll look at some of the other models here in just a bit. But notice Wednesday morning into the afternoon, the heaviest rain might be shifting into the river valley. So that's why I wanted to provide this update and let you know that maybe that flooding potential might be a little more focused in the river valley, especially for tomorrow morning into the afternoon. So we're going to be watching that closely. We'll go back to this timing. So expect widespread rain. Some of that will be heavy. Then as we move into our Wednesday morning into Wednesday afternoon, you can see that precipitation really starting to crank up. This is when the bulk of this system will be moving in. Just to let you know, we're tracking three systems. Now, on the backside of this system, you're going to see some colder air start working its way in. So if I zoom out on the wider view, you're going to see this wraparound precipitation that starts to develop. And when we put that into motion, you can see this cold air starting to pour in just on the backside of it. And so by Thursday morning, I think we get a little bit of a very light wintry mix. Now, Josh, just to let you know, I included this in the forecast. I'll show you the 7-day coming up in just a bit. But I think it's needed, honestly, because even though it's not going to be widespread, there's been hints, including in the ensembles, that there will be at least some type of winter weather. Maybe not super widespread, but at least enough to put it in the forecast. So this is for Thursday early morning. System moves out pretty quick. It's not really a big deal. But for those that are night owls or watching the weather late tomorrow night into Thursday morning, you could see a wintry mix. Now, the heaviest swath of rain at this point is showing up like it will be mostly in the river valley. Now, still 2 inches over northwest Arkansas is definitely a lot. But the problem is that we've got to look at this with a grain of salt because not all models are showing exactly where that heaviest potential will be for precipitation. And so if we take a look here at the HRRR, this is the shorter range HRRR. You can see those thunderstorms starting to pop up, but the HRRR has been more focused in the river valley. However, we look at the wrap, and clearly that's a swath of heavy rain that's extending right through northwest Arkansas, which, by the way, 3 inches, it's not out of the question that this system will do that. So here's what happens overnight. This, by the way, is midnight. There's 9 o'clock, or excuse me, 5, 6 a.m. So the rain's really going to be coming down tomorrow morning into the late morning and into the afternoon. Now you're going to see this here on the wrap. The wrap is showing a lot more training of those cells popping up in the river valley. Let me get to a better one here. That wasn't a very good look. Here's the composite reflectivity. Look at that heavy rain that's training over the area. So tomorrow, expect a wash. But if we go to some of the other models, let's look at the NAM 3 kilometer and we'll look at the precipitation forecast. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to zoom in too. I can zoom in on this. So we're going to zoom in on Arkansas. Let's see if we move along in time. There's the heavy swath of rain. And so that does show more focused in the River Valley, but also in southern Washington County, unlike the HRRR that kind of takes it out of everywhere. So there you go. We'll go to the NAM. Yeah, that's kind of frustrating how you roll over and it immediately changes. But anyways, see if I can come back this way. There we go. Let's look at the HRRR. And this is the 18Z, and you're going to see the swath of heavy rain extending in the river valley once it's done loading. So there you go. Shows the heaviest rain in the river valley. And so there's going to be a corridor of heavy rain. We don't exactly know where that's going to be at this point. If we look at the ARW, all these are showing heavy rain potential. There we go. Again, in the river valley. So there's 3 out of the 4 models showing river valley. There's another one. I mean, there's many more than just 4 models, but let's look and see where this has the heavy rain. Heavy rain corridor, Scott County, Logan County. So there are indications that maybe this heavy rain axis is shifting a little south. Let's look at the latest 18Z European model, and I guarantee you it'll probably show that heavy rain axis in the river valley. Come on, whoa. There you go. So maybe not quite as heavy. So with that being said, we still have precipitation coming our way. It's going to be heavy, and we're going to see that potential for heavy rain, including some flash flooding. Now, when we look at the rain accumulation, as I bring that up on the screen, you're going to see that all the models are hinting at widespread rain. There's no doubt we'll be getting rain. It's just a matter of where the heaviest corridor will be. This comes into play, then that's going to be more of the river valley. The European shows kind of heavy rain over a widespread area, but no real corridor of precipitation. The GFS is showing the heaviest rain again in the river valley, and the NAM is a little bit of the oddball showing the heaviest rain in northwest Arkansas. So what we got to do is we got to look and see what this system is doing and show you what we're tracking. And so if we look at this in terms of precipitation, you're going to see that there's still a lot more to go with this system. But I'll be honest, I don't think it's behaving quite as expected. I think the rain was supposed to be heavier in this corridor in eastern Oklahoma. It's not heavier right now. In fact, there's a break in the action. And so what we've got to do is we got to look at the water vapor. And honestly, it's kind of difficult to discern where these pieces of energy are moving in, as typical with these positively tilted troughs. In fact, you can see some thunderstorms popping up in the Dallas area. How can I tell that? Well, you see the blue shades. Those are colder cloud tops. And this is starting to develop. So this is heavier rain that's also developing. But there's not as much in the river valley. So it's a little uncertain exactly where this heavy rain access will be setting up. Now, when we look at this, this is a very large, what we call positively tilted trough. Almost similar to what we saw last week, except for the temperature profile. So as this system starts to move eastward, it'll eventually move through by Thursday early morning and then race off to the northeast. System number 2 is going to be our snowmaker. That's not going to be a very big deal because temperatures will be borderline freezing. But I think the models are underdoing the precipitation on this. That drops south, and then that comes in with some cold air. Guess what? There's a system number 3. Number 3 is a doozy, a biggin. That's going to be moving east. That rides up and over the ridge. That drops back down. That brings a lot of precipitation over our area. That's going to be for next week, Monday, Tuesday. So we'll continue to watch it. Classic Colby effect. Colby really is pretty crazy on his skills. It's unbelievable. So what about all that dry air? Yeah, what about that dry air? That's called the dry slot. Is that really truly organizing and developing? Well, let's go back and we'll look. And so, yes, there is. But at the same time, David, you can see a leading edge of it, all this precipitation right here. So this is a fetch of moisture, slow moving, positively tilted trough. All that is going to bring widespread precipitation. When we look at the 7-day QPF, the quantitative precipitation forecast, you're going to see some areas 2 to 3, but then you also see some areas where these brighter oranges, this is 5 to 7. In fact, you can match it on the scale. So this shifts and changes, but 4 to 5 in parts of the river valley. Now, this is not, I want to stress this is not all from tonight's system. There's going to be precipitation on next week, and that's a lot of this heavy rain potential. So let's see what the graph has. And the graph, by the way, showing some corridors of precipitation that aren't really happening right now. That shows the heaviest rain remaining in the river valley. So maybe a little bit of a shift in terms of the flooding potential. Going to be more in the river valley for Logan, Scott, and Johnson County. Then here comes that wraparound. There's the precipitation. See the wraparound, how it's a counterclockwise spin? Well, when that air starts coming in from the northwest, that's colder. And so that leads to a little bit of a rain snow mixture. Now, granted, it's not a big deal, and we don't expect much to happen, but there's that system lifting off to the north. So after that happens, then we have the potential for some winter weather. Now, it's not going to be like last week, and I got to stress that. However, I think we do get some winter weather, and you're going to see this here on the future track. Notice Friday morning, which, by the way, the European yesterday did a pump fake. Classic total pump fake, taking out the precipitation, not removing it. And you can see Friday late morning into the afternoon, precipitation lingering. And then Saturday and Sunday, great weather. And then here comes the next, as Josh said, number 3 is a Giga Chad system. The Giga Chad with the beard and the facial hair, all that stuff. Just got a new flood advisory for Delaware County. It's for the Illinois River. So there's rain that's starting to creep in and starting to pick up. But there's a look at that precipitation. Now, the models, I think, are a little fast. They're bringing it in on Tuesday morning. But in classic fashion, I bet you that slows down to Tuesday evening because it had it Tuesday evening yesterday, and now it's kind of changed. Sarah, you are very welcome. I'm so glad. How bad will travel be for Northwest Arkansas to Shreveport tomorrow afternoon? So just be aware that hydroplaning will be possible, and there will be lots of precipitation basically on your entire drive. So be ready for that, Sarah. Be careful. And here's a look at the future track model, and you can see just that doesn't stop. Really, the heaviest rain is going to be in the morning into the late morning, and then it'll kind of wind down during the afternoon into the evening. Now we can look at one more thing here for that. We'll zoom out a little wider. We'll give you a wider view on this. And so let's go to the HRRR moving, and we'll take a look at this. And so, yeah, there you can see the precipitation lingering throughout the morning. And so your drive is going to be a little soggy with a little heavy rain. So be aware of that, Sarah, just in case you're doing some traveling. So slow down, never go too fast, never go. You want to slow down definitely with the potential for heavy rain because, as Josh knows, and as many people know, including myself, it doesn't take much to hydroplane. And once you do, you're done. You lose control of your vehicle. Let's look and see what the GFS does for that system on Friday. And then I've got to shut this down because guess what? The next newscast is calling. So here's a look at that wraparound Thursday morning. It squeezes out a little bit of winter weather. And then you can see it lifting northeast. And Thursday afternoon, besides it being breezy, is not going to be too bad. Then you're going to see here Friday morning, there's a system coming in. And so I think we do see a little bit of snow. Notice, though, a lot of that is where it's above freezing. Now, it's not to say it won't accumulate at all. It just, the roads are going to be warm. We're not going to see the ice and sleet like we did. And so then there's a system moving out. All right, guys, 2 minutes out to my newscast. I've got to run. Woo Pig Suey. Go Hogs. Beat Kentucky. That's going to be a good game. Later on tonight, after the 10 o'clock, I'll do another Facebook Live if warranted and if there's storms that are really starting to pop up. So Kylie says, my 6-year-old walked outside this morning, stopped mid-step, indoor recess. That's right. Score prediction. I'm going to say 68-66 Razorbacks. It's close game. Closer than the experts think. I don't know, honestly, what the over and under is. I got to run, though. Got to go. See ya. Bye.